Hey guys, do you have one of these baskets in your shop? I absolutely hate this basket. This is where all the discontinued products go. I define discontinued by if I like it, eventually it's going to be discontinued. I really hate it when I've fallen in love with a product and I've talked all of my clients into it only to find out that I can't produce it for them anymore. This was my favorite gel. It's got bamboo in it. It leaves the hair very fluffy, and the bamboo helps bond to the protein structures to give the hair a little bit more fullness. Another one, which I hide, is my clay. I have not figured out what I'm going to do once this last jar of clay is gone. I also know that there are some products that are going to be discontinued. One of my favorite gels has mica in it, and dimethicone makes the hair very, very shiny. But as soon as the company finds out that I like this product, I can guarantee you it's going to be discontinued. So what am I going to do about it? I'm going to make my own. Come into the lab. Making gel really isn't all that difficult. It only involves 4 chemicals for your basic gel plus distilled water. The main chemicals are carbomer 940, which is a thickening agent, pseudoside, which is an antibacterial, dauversine, which is a chelating agent, and polyquat, which is a humectant and a moisturizing agent. It also adds a little bit to the viscosity. Carbomer 940, as I said, is a derivative of, it's a polymer of an acrylic acid, and it's a white, powdery, very, very fluffy substance that has the ability to absorb a great amount of water and swell to a much larger volume than what we have on this tin foil. As I said, I've got 990 grams of water. What I'm going to do is very thin layer, sprinkle the powder onto the water. If you try to stir it in at this point, it will just congeal on your spatula. So what you want to do is you want to let this completely absorb the water. It takes about an hour. So spread it as thin as you possibly can. And then you're going to cover it just to keep the dust from getting in. Second chemical is called polyquatinarium. I call it polyquat 10. It's just a lot easier to pronounce. It's a humectant and a conditioning agent that helps restore moisture and suppleness to hair. Works particularly well on heavily bleached or highlighted hair. It also has a positive charge, which enables the material to be attracted and to bind to negatively charged protein. It reduces the static electricity and overall gives a conditioning effect to the hair. I've measured out 15 grams of polyquat. Don't get too close to it because it has a pretty acrid smell. That smell goes away once we mix the chemicals together. I've also measured out 462 grams of distilled water. I'm going to do the same as we did with the carbomer. We're going to spread it evenly on the surface. This is not as difficult as the carbomer, and little globs will eventually congeal. When we're done hydrating this, this will come out the consistency of very, very, very loose jello. It will have a slight yellow effect to it, but that can be changed with food color. You're going to cover that, keep that from the dust, and put it aside with the carbomer. I usually wait an hour for the carbomer to completely absorb all of the water and for the polyquat to rehydrate. Okay, it's been about an hour now, and our polyquat has more or less congealed. There's still a little bit of liquid. We'll stir it down to get it a little bit thicker. Stir out a few of those little lumps. To get it so that it's a little bit thicker. Now also, our carbomer has congealed into a nice consistency. All of that powder has absorbed water and made nice clear gel. We're going to take the polyquat and add it to the carbomer. I feel like Martha Stewart. And stir that together. Now, what we need to do is to make sure that this is going to have some kind of a shelf life. I don't like to use a lot of dangerous chemicals as preservatives, so I use a product called Pseudocide. Pseudocide is a derivative of glycerin, and it is a broad-spectrum antimicrobial. It will guard your product against mold, bacteria, and yeast buildup. This is something that you do not want to mix your product and then 6 weeks later find out that it's growing something. Also, we're going to use 3 grams of Dauversine. This is a chelating agent, and you know that we use chelators when we're cleaning the hair of metals before any kind of a chemical service. This material bonds to metallic ions and renders them incapable of turning your fragrance or your product rancid. And just mix that in. As you can see, we've got a nice, clean, white gel going. It's okay, but white's not really my favorite color. So I'm going to add just a couple drops of plain blue food color. Get that spread in evenly. And we're going to add in our fragrance. You never want to use more than 1% of your total amount of product in fragrance. So we have a total of 1,500 grams of product, and I will use less than 15 grams of fragrance. The fragrances that I use are pretty strong, so in this case I only used 9.5 grams of fragrance. This will be more than enough. You can choose any kind of cosmetic fragrance. I would recommend you not use commercial fragrances. Commercial fragrances can be irritating to the skin. This is going just on the hair, not on the scalp, but there is a chance that it can touch the scalp. Cosmetic fragrances have a product called PEG in it, and that makes the product less irritating to the scalp. Now I am going to add 2 more ingredients. This itself is a standalone soft hold gel that will hydrate the hair, leave it very, very soft, repairs the slippage on chemically treated hair, highly bleached hair, over highlighted hair, and keeps it nice and soft and supple. What I'm going to add to this is a little bit of mica and a little bit of dimethicone. Dimethicone will give it a little bit more slip and softening power, and the mica is like powdered mirrors, and it will give much more reflection and shine. Okay, so I'm adding 5 grams of dimethicone, just enough to give it a little bit more slip and a little bit more shine, and 1/4 teaspoon of silver mica powder. This will give it a more glistening effect and make it like my favorite gel that hasn't been discontinued yet, but I'm sure as soon as this video is posted, it will be immediately discontinued. Okay, now that it's completed, all you have to do is put it in a nice looking bottle, add a pump so it's easy to disperse, put a nice looking label on it, and it's ready to go to make your next client really happy. Another thing you can do is add it to a shampoo, a conditioner, and a finishing spray, throw in some soap, and you've got a great gift for Christmas time. Plus, it didn't cost you a fortune. And when the company discontinues the product, you don't have to worry anymore. Have a good day.